always looking for the overachievers. That's good. New Yorkers always give it a little extra. My name is Francis. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to present to you Remember Me. First off, I would like to introduce you to Lily Bosma. Lily is the product manager on this title, and she will introduce you to the rest of our panel. Lily?
Hi guys, how are you? Remember, if you're back here tomorrow, wear your shirts. I'd like to see them being used. We're here, as Francis mentioned, to talk about Remember Me, and I'm very excited to actually introduce our development team. Well, just a couple of them, since the rest of them are all out there making the game right now. To the far left, we have Matt Hart. He's our senior producer on the project. He's
really? Thank you.
He's here all the way from our UK office, so he's come a long way just to talk to you guys. And to my immediate left, we have Alexsi Briclot. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's all right. Hi, everybody. Really happy to be here with you.
Now, Alexsi, some of you may know, is actually a very recognizable artist in the community here, especially here at Comic-Con. You guys should know some of his work. He's actually worked on Magic the Gathering. He's worked on WoW, the card game. He's worked on Marvel covers, and we're going to show you a bit of some of the artwork that he's already done. And then from there, we're going to go into how Remember Me was made, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and show you some footage of the game. So I hope you enjoy the panel, and at the end, we're going to have a Q&A, and hope you guys have some questions for us.
That's my turn? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So my name is Alexsi Briclot. I'm a co-founder of Downtown Entertainment, the video game studio which is doing the Remember Me game with Capcom. I'm also art director there. I've worked for video games before. I'm sorry first also for my accents. I need to say that. And I've worked before for video games, for comic books too. I did a lot of comic books cover for Marvel, for example, on Annihilation Conquest, the Thanos Imperative, and also New Avengers. I did covers for Dark Horse on Conan and stuff like that. I did a lot of stuff too for Magic the Gathering, for which I'm responsible of the 5 first Planeswalkers for the people who are playing to this game, for example. And what else? I did also comic books for a French publisher and 2 graphic novels for Todd McFarlane on his famous Spawn characters. And sorry?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah?
That's great.
And I did a lot of fantasy stuff and horror stuff, but I'm really huge fan of sci-fi. That's why Remember Me is so exciting for me.
Perfect. That's why he's here, just to talk to you guys and show you guys what he's been doing. Now, to take it back to where he is now, we're going to talk about Remember Me. And Matt Hart is going to tell you a little bit about the game and what the story behind the game is. And then from there, we're going to go into what makes a video game.
Yeah, cool. So actually, before I start, I'm going to indulge myself and take a picture of everyone. So if you've got a free T-shirt, hold it up in the air. And I'm going to stick this on my Twitter feed. So I'm going to use like a panorama. Look at this. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, thank you very much. So we announced Remember Me back at Gamescom earlier in the year, and we've shown some stuff at TGS. But what I want to do is just make sure that before we talk with Alexsi about the work that he's done in bringing this world to life, set a little bit of the scene as to where the game is set, what the game's all about. So essentially, Remember Me is a narrative-driven action-adventure game. What does that mean? It means it's got a powerful story with great characters set in a really believable world, and it's a world that revolves around a place called Neo Paris, which is essentially Paris, but in 80-odd years into the future. So Neo Paris is it's a vision of the world in 80 years and how it's evolved, and we're actually, with the game, examining the growth of social media and how it affects people's lives, and we're asking questions about whether it's actually a good thing or a bad thing, and examining why people were happy to give up certain social freedoms in exchange for ease of staying in contact with friends and things like that. So over the years, Neo Paris has gone through a period of civil wars, gone through natural disasters, and it's actually a point where we join the game of being at a stage of regrowth. They're rebuilding, there's lots of construction going on, and essentially the entire population are now looking forward to a period of peace. So they're kind of welcoming this brighter future, and with it, this new piece of technology that enables them to forget the memories of the past. So the technology is an implant that pretty much everyone has voluntarily, which basically plugs into their brain and enables them to record and digitize their memories. So if we stop and think about that for a second, you know, at the moment on Facebook, you take a picture, I took a picture, I'm going to stick it on Twitter, that's going to go on my Facebook, all my friends can see it, all the people who follow me can see it. But this is an extension of that, so I could be recording this experience now. The fact my heart rate's going about 50,000 times because the room's full of so many people. And I can share this with my friends, so I can go home to my wife and I can say, hey, this is what it was like, this is what I just did. So, you know, it's that technology that enables so many good things in your life, and this is technology that's been developed by a company called Memorize. And they are a massive mega corporation, you know, a bit like Facebook, that kind of thing. And essentially, the question that we're asking, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, I've covered all the points I want to cover on that slide, apart from the most important part of the game, which is the main character. So with the memories, essentially we've created this currency. So you can buy memories, you can trade them, you can share them with your friends, and of course with any degree of commodity, you can steal it. So Nilin comes into play. She's our main character, and she is an elite memory hunter, or a memory thief. Essentially, she has the ability to steal people's memories, and she has done this in the past for nefarious reasons. But she's unique amongst the memory hunters. She's considered an elite memory hunter. She's actually able to break into people's minds, and she's actually able to change their memories. So critical, tiny details in someone's memory could have a massive impact on how they perceive that particular experience, and it can change the way that they, you know, make judgment calls in the future. And that's actually been used by, well, it's been used by people to further their own ends. So the game begins with Nilin as a prisoner in the Bastille prison, and she's basically going through the process of having her memory being wiped. Why, we don't know, but she's actually, with the help of one of her friends, someone called Edge, she escapes, and she's basically sent on one last mission to try and bring down this society. Edge is a member of a resistance organisation called the Errorists, who fundamentally believe that this you know, giving up of social freedom is a terrible thing, and really asking the questions, what is Memorize doing with all that data? So, you know, to achieve her goal, she's going to have to explore getting her memory back and basically trace the reasons why, you know, she's so important to the cause. So that's the game in a very few brief minutes. What we're going to do is let Alexsi speak for a little while. Alexi's going to share with us the actual process that he's gone through in taking this from a vision and to actual reality, and we're going to hopefully show you the key steps along the way and how he went about doing it.
Yeah, first of all, it's not only my work, it's a teamwork at Dontnod. I'm working with another art director, and there's a whole full team of concept artists. So it's not only my work. And for talking about Neo Paris, so the action takes place in Neo Paris in 2084. 2084 is a clear reference to Orson Welles classic. Talking about the city, we have a lot of brainstorms at the beginning of the process, the creative process, about what could be the right city for our adventure. So we are talking about, because we are talking about building a believable near future. We have to deal with globalization and also geopolitical and climatical changes, like global warming and stuff like that. And so maybe one of our first choices were, not choices, but our first paths were Los Angeles, San Francisco, for example, because it's really close to near the ocean and near the rifts. Also Tokyo and a lot of different cities like Sydney and others. But
was that you just trying to get trips to those places?
No, it's too far.
Oh, okay.
And finally, yeah, because the whole studio is living in Paris and all the team is living in Paris, we are just thinking about maybe using Paris as the right city. And it was really easy for us to catch and to get the right mood, the right atmosphere, the right cultural references, and also to just walk around and take photographs as basis for the concept arts or also the texture. So finally, we find that Neo Paris was the best choice for us. And there is something also funny because there's not so much projects using sci-fi projects using Paris, but in a lot of video games or movie, you can see you get the money shot with when you're dealing with an alien invasion or end of the world. You always get the Dfl Tower falling apart. Yeah. So we try to do something more with Paris. And so we're dealing with science fiction, sci-fi, but it's not a space opera. So our goal was to create a believable future. It's not about doing stuff with crazy alien or crazy spaceships.
I mean, what comes across when you look at it is the recognizable architecture. And we can see on the slide here that you've got three different parts of Paris that the game takes place in. And there's three distinct flavors to those parts. But what Alexsi and his team have created is this kind of really believable, grounded world.
Yeah. We always try to anchor the roots of the environment in something that you can recognize from today. And because the story is happening in the same city, we have to deal and to create a lot of different environments in order to broaden the experience for the player, so we can stay only in the same kind of streets. So we try to develop the Remember Me universe as distinct different areas in the city. So there is first the Deep Paris, which is some colorful slums and abandoned areas. Then you get the Mid Paris, which is maybe the closest to what we've got today in Paris. And then there is the last one, which is the High Paris, which is made from what we call some kind of autonomous towers. One of the most famous in the game is called Nemopolis, which is some kind of utopic tower in which everybody is living together and sharing their own memories.
How did you go about like choosing color palettes and stuff like that for the different areas?
We try to apply and to choose one specific color palette for each part of the game. We used a realistic approach for the whole game, but we always try to add some kind of a slight stylization. For me, it was important to avoid to do something too muddy or too desaturated, and it's more powerful to use colors too. There is darkness in the game, but there is a lot of colors too. All these environments got some basic colors on which we are playing with hints of complementary colors, like graphic design, or as you can see in the first row of picture, you got this kind of gray-blue basis color, and on top of this, you get some really warmer elements.
That one of the Deep Paris, the middle one for me, is one that really stands out as a really classic example of how Alexsi approaches art. That you look at all the previous pieces of art that he did on the first few slides. That's kind
I
of
think you can
shtick.
see the same in the second row. Talking about Mid Paris with a blue-gray basis and much more hints of complementary colors.
That's cool. So how did you, I mean, I've seen this slide before, obviously, so one of the things I think is important to talk about is how we inherited the architecture from Paris and how we kept that, but actually showed our vision of the world.
I should first say that the game is about memory, is about there's something linked to humanity, to intimacy, to technology, to ourselves today. It's science fiction, but like all the great science fiction books or movies or stuff, we are trying to do something, a really good game, entertaining and fun, but also to raise some interesting question behind that. And so in order to achieve that, we have to keep some really strong entry point to the player with something that you can recognize or refer to. So that's why we're not doing some crazy and fancy word and design. We always try to keep these entry points. So talking about Paris, one of the main one is the Dfl Tower, the Bastille Pillar, the Montmartre too. It's funny also talking just about Eiffel Tower because it's really a famous building. But for example, you have to deal with the whole building if you want to be sure that people will recognize it, because if you get only the top or only the bottom, it won't be efficient. What else? So we try to apply that on a micro and a macro scale. Like I was talking about the Eiffel Tower, there is the same thing for the architecture, the streets. So we have to deal with all stuff. We try to keep some sense of history with old stone, with wood, with something was not created only in 2084, but something was here since a long time.
But you've layered that with things like new pieces of architecture to kind of really bring the world.
Yeah, it's all about balance and rhythm and contrast. So if you get some Osmanian buildings, some kind of the most, not famous, but the most common buildings that you find in Paris. And for us, we play with it, trying to add some futuristic plug on top of that. And then, if you get this kind of realistic building, we can add another layer, another bigger-than-life layer on top of that, with this kind of gigantic buildings.
And then, obviously, one of the next things that we need to look at is who populates this world.
Yeah, just thinking about the next slide, and I'm thinking about, because it's the same for the main characters. First of all, it's a game, so we try to, because we're trying to create a believable near future, we have to look at a lot of different actual trends, for example, for the citizen in fashion, for the vehicles, technology, architectures too. But because it's a game, we're not scientists, we always, sometimes we try we've taken some artistic license from reality, and we are doing a lot of much more bigger than life elements. Talking about the citizens, it was the same than the buildings. We have to populate a world to make it believable. So it's not only about architectures and buildings. We are dealing with memory, so citizens are really important. So we have to populate the three different areas of Neo Paris with adequate characters. On the first row, you've got some high Paris citizen with stylized, with black and whites, only black and whites. Then after you get some deep Paris citizen with much more leather and raw clothes.
I haven't got that slide. So what's this, Alexi?
Right.
It's a little weird.
Before we go into the creative process, Alexi's going to describe what you're actually seeing on the screen and what they do in the studio in order to go beyond just coming up with a description or creating a character. You know, it's easy to draw something in real life and make it normal, but sometimes they gotta create creatures that are beyond normal, things that you don't find in the normal society. And these are some of the things that they have been doing in the office that help their creative juices flow in the right direction. So can you explain what we're seeing in this image?
Okay. Remember Me is an action adventure game, so we have to create a lot of different opponents with different physical abilities just in order to get some really funny gameplay. And so leapers, these kind of characters are part of them. It's some humans who get some issue with the sense and technology, we talk about that, the technology which is able to record memories. And so they've got some problem with their minds. They are babbling and a little bit like me. And
so more importantly, what are you doing in the picture?
Yeah, what are
I'm
you
doing
doing
in the picture? Yeah, okay, the first picture is a photograph of me with a condom on my head and some chocolates on my teeth. And I was trying to make photo shots, just trying to act like a leapers. And on the bottom row, you can see some altered photographs of that. So for me, it's like art by any means necessary, and if you want to make some shortcuts and stuff like that, just in order to achieve some good picture, it's okay with me. And in fact, it's also really fun to do that. It was also an occasion, opportunity.
Just a quick question, hands up, who's done this?
Really?
Yeah, now I'm talking. Oh, wait a minute, there's only like 4 of us. Okay, not me.
Yeah, I must add that the fact that I was using a condom is like because the leapers got some really big head, hydrocephal head, and so I was trying to achieve the same thing with a do-it-yourself process.
We do this all the time in England.
So you can just think about the whole atmosphere at Downtown Entertainment. It's the same all day.
Yes.
Is the next slide a picture of a leaper?
I'm sorry?
What's the next slide?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there's much more picture about the characters. For example, at the end, you can see the final concept art will be used by the 3D artist. This one was made by the Fred Ogis, which is another concept artist. You can see some old traditional sketches, too, some first digital sketches trying to get the right feeling with some kind of common spirit, common linked with the Sensen. This is pre-production stuff. This is not exactly what you have in the game with the first picture. The second one is also really funny because it's a photograph I've done with another concept artist. I was just trying also to get the right feeling, the right gesture and behavior. So I asked him, the other concept artist, Paul Chadesson, to go to the parking lot and take photographs of him. It was really hot during the summer, and it was fun just trying to get the same feeling. And this is just another paint I've done over it.
Mm. So what we're going to have a look at now is actually the game in action. This is a... Yeah. So basically we join the game at the point where Nilin has broken out of the Bastille, and for the purposes that Edge has given her a mission.
Can we hit the lights? Thanks.
She's actually trying to break into the memorized building. The Monopolis, you called it, didn't you? The big building. So this is where we join it.
Your way ain't gonna work. You got a plan B?
I'm inside their comms. Building's locked down. You need to track down a Captain Trace and steal his access codes. Careful, sis. He's eccentric and very dangerous.
Okay. We need to move. Where can I find him?
Give me a second to do an AUG lock on his position.
here, you bitch.
Back to clear your mind.
Nilin, stop playing with this freak. If he catches you off guard,
Yeah, okay, enough of the running commentary, thank you.
steal the code from this bird brain and get to Silicartier Wells.
Okay, I've got an idea.
Stay frosty, sis. This guy's serious.
So this is your great plan, huh? To hide forever. It's over, Nilin. Show yourself. Who'd have thought it? The great Nilin, huddled like a frightened little mouse. You really think you can escape?
Let's play a new game with new rules. The hunted becomes the hunter.
Curse you, Hunter! What did you steal from me?
That's cool, thanks. It's,
Thank
yeah, cool. So you can see how the world starts to come to life, yeah? So, you know, the concept art that we showed, that's it actually running in real time. So one of the other things that is a very important task is to make sure that we bring the main character to life as well. So, you know, Alexi, do you want to talk a little bit about...
Maybe you could keep the previous slide, and I could add some word about
her
the
backside?
colors.
Her backside.
Her backside?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, just talking about the colors. In the game, we choose. You can see it on the Remember Me logo, which is composed of an orange cube and some circular loading bar. And in the game, we choose to use the orange cube as a symbol of a memory, because the cube is some kind of a little box, and orange is something warm, something intense, like memories that you want to cherish. And so this is something that we apply on the whole visual communication, and I want to thank you, Capcom, and especially the Capcom marketing team for having following me on this, because it was some kind of a strong choice. And there is also black and white. I can't spoil anything, but black and white got some meaning too in the game. You can see on Nilin, she's got some white glove and some black glove, and it's all a mix between both of them, like yin and yang. I don't know what I can say about it or not say.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Let's have a look at the character model.
Yeah, and so it's quite exactly the same that I've talked about with the environments. It was the main challenge for us was to find the right balance to make a character appealing, futuristic, but not so much. And as you can see in our clothes, you've got some really futuristic elements like the glove the black glove and also the boots, but also some really recognizable elements coming from today, like jeans. Jeans, like it's funny, it's like suits or smoking, were invented at the end of the 19th century, and they are still okay. I assume there's a lot of people in the room who are still wearing jeans, so it was the same process and the same thing that we've applied in the character, just once again to be sure that we've kept some strong entry points, some elements that you can refer to.
It's that grounding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Sensen device that we see on the back of her neck?
So the Sensen is some kind of brain implants, but we choose to do something different than in some other big sci-fi stuff. We try to avoid to have some physical implants. So that's why we only get some visual augmented reality representation of the Sensen, which is done by these parts, white part of circle moving around an orange core.
So what's interesting about this is where we take art and actually translate it into like the crunch of actually making a game. This is one of those devices that enables a character to be very recognizable. If you saw a silhouette, much like, does anyone remember the iPod adverts with a black silhouette and you just saw the white headphones? It's just trying to find that signature kind of feeling.
Exactly.
The Sensen is a perfect device for that.
It was cool for us, just trying to develop something different than the usual stuff. When you get brain implants, when you're dealing with memories and the mind.
Yeah.
In most of the sci-fi stuff, it's like that. So
that's cool.
It was cool, and this is also something that we developed. You will talk about it just after about the raid spammer. And,
yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, one of the things you saw in the trailer is obviously Nilin kicking some butt. But you also saw her using a device on her arm. I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, the combat system that we've put in place for Remember Me is it's a multi-layered combo-driven system, which is like lots of long designy sort of words. Basically, there's lots of layers to the gameplay. So there's huge amounts of depth for the players to explore. It enables you to fight the enemies in the way that you want to fight the enemies. You have access to loads of cool finishing moves, and I think what we should do is probably show you a trailer in a minute with some combat stuff in. But first of all, the spammer is the device that you see on her right arm, and essentially what that does is that fires out pieces of data, like random junk data, and it overloads people's sensens. So she can actually use it as a weapon to kind of really just drive straight into people's minds and kind of just numb their brains out. But she can also use it to interact with the various, do you know what I mean by AR, augmented reality? You see like these tags all around the world, and she can actually use her spammer to interact with those and manipulate objects in the world. But enough of me waffling on, let's have a look at some actual fighting. So I'll just explain a little bit what's going on. So we start this combat with Nilin's actually pretty low health, which is the glitching on the side of the screen. And she's trying to fight her way out the Bastille.
You're done for, little lady.
So she's fighting this guy, and basically, because she's got low health, what she's actually doing now is using the health-based regeneration combo. So you're actually able to choose when you can increase your health. But as you can see, it's not really doing a huge amount of damage, and there's a few more guards joined in. So we go into the combo lab, and we actually start building the combos that we want to use. So on the right-hand side is a whole bunch of combat moves. We call them press ends, and each of those have a unique function, and you're actually able to build them into combos that you then use in game. So what we're building here is a power press end, which basically has extra damage, and it also triggers these finishing moves, the cool memory overloads. But obviously, when using that, you're not actually regenerating your health, so it's a real choice for the player. So now she's got these guys with the shields, can't really do much against them, even the power pressings don't kind of break through the shields, so she's going to have to come up with something else.
Stay on her. Form a circle.
So like I said, she's got a whole bunch of special moves. There's 5, we've only got 4 on screen at the moment. But we're going to use something called the logic bomb, which is a really good crowd control. So you can see like a new enemy up there. Basically, it's a flying robot that fires out bolts, trying to make Nilin's life more miserable than it is.
Try to get around her.
And that's where you can see the spammer getting used in the combat. But the Nephilim, which is the flying robot, shields itself. So back to the special powers, we're going to use something called Rust in Pieces, which basically makes the robot change allegiance, and now it's fighting on Nilin's side. So now we're filling the room up with a whole bunch of people. And of course, we can't let you have unlimited power. The sensor and wheel, the power press ends, the S press ends, which are special moves, have a cooldown. But what we can do is go back to the combo lab, build ourselves a cooldown reduction combo that enables you to get your special moves back quicker. Now, what's interesting is here we've just built like a health regen, a power press end, and a cooldown reduction. But what we're noticing with the much more advanced players is they're building hybrid combos which allow you to generate multiple effects for the same combo. You see the cooldown going down there when she's using that. So that's what I meant by a multi-layered combo-driven combat system.
So what happens if I don't want to build any combos?
Well, we actually build them for you. So basically, for the players who really want to delve in and really construct their own combos, they can. But for those players who don't, as you unlock the combos, they get slotted in, so you can just fight your way through it. Another key part of the game that Alexsi mentioned several times is the memory remixing. It's one of Nilin's special powers, and what we wanted to do is create a very different feeling. So actually, in gameplay, you break into people's memories, you change key features in their memory to kind of get a result. And what we've tried to do is create a very different feel to these environments.
With a different rendering, like. For me, memories are always blurry and they are not really clear and perfect. Even if we are dealing with a digitized memory, for us it was really important to make a strong difference between what we have in-game, the reality, and the memories themselves. Plus, it's a good way to create something a little bit weird or different, another pace, another rhythm, with a blur, with grain. Also using some graphic elements that make obvious and efficient that you are dealing with a memory, something in the past. And because it's also digitized memory, and you can see in some of these concepts, we are dealing with a scene, but the scene is not complete. There is some parts that are missing. These parts we don't care about. We just care about the center of the scene, what is really happening, the core of the sequence. And so we deal with, once again, with cube, because, as I said before, for us in the game, an orange cube is the symbol of a memory, and so you can see some small cube here and there on the parts that are not completely finished.
Why don't we have a look at it in actual action? Should we have a look at the video?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's do that.
A friend once said, The memory of a single man is a fortress, more complex than the vastest of cities. But we invented a key to the fortress. A son's first words, a mother's last words, a lover's kiss, a father's deception. There are no secrets anymore. And if remixing a single memory can change a man's life, then changing a single man could remix the world. That was my job until someone did it to me.
They wiped you clean, Nilin. How do I know I can still trust you?
Who erased my memory? What was my real mission?
Try to get around her!
I'm the hunter. Why am I being hunted?
So that was the cool sizzle trailer where we bring it all together. What I wanted to show you was the actual memory remix. But we're running really short on time. So, is there? If anyone wants to ask a question, stick your hand up, or do you want to watch a video? I'm just saying, do we want to watch the video?
Watch the video.
Or ask questions?
Video. You guys are first to see this. Oh, no, no.
This is the target, Frank Forlan, new commander of the Saber Force. He's had a grudge against us for years, and now he's being promoted. He could be a real threat. Take him out for us.
Take him out? You want me to kill him?
No, I want you to remix his memories. Make him kill himself. It'll be less suspicious.
So the courthouse ceremony will begin shortly. We're heading to your office now.
I know. Just give me a minute.
Calling Alexia. Unable to connect. Please leave a message.
Alexia, damn it, call me. The whole of Paris will be watching my appointment ceremony. You can't let me down like this. I need you there.
Message recorded.
Selfish bitch. Selfish bitch.
I gave you more than I ever took, Frank. You had my best news.
Bullshit. You'll ruin my career before it's even started.
Because I won't be standing next to you in a photo? Get real, Frank. I'm not gonna pretend anymore.
Alex, don't you dare walk out!
Fuck you, Frank!
Alex! Bullshit. You'll ruin my career before it's even started.
standing next to you in a photo? Get real, Frank. I'm not gonna pretend anymore.
Alex, don't you dare walk out!
What are you gonna do? Shoot me? You can't even stand up straight. Be serious, Frank. You never even take the safety off. And I'm tired of pretending. Goodbye, Frank.
Please. Don't you dare walk out!
What are you gonna do? Shoot me? You can't even stand up straight. Be serious, Frank. You never even take the safety off.
Alex!
Right now. We can't delay this
Bastards.
any longer.
You're not taking me in for this. It was an accident. I won't give you the satisfaction. I'm so sorry, Alex. I'm so sorry.
Dude, it was just a breakup.
All right, Frank, you win.
What do you think of that?